You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Welcome to From Beneath the Hollywood Sign. If you love old movies, Hollywood history, or the golden age of filmmaking, you've come to the right place. This is the podcast that talks about amazing stories of Tinseltown from another era and fascinating conversations with writer-producer Steve Cubine and actress-writer Nan McNamara.
So, Steve, did Ava Gardner and Howard Hughes have a good relationship?
Well, they did until he dislocated her jaw.
What?
Well, don't worry. She hit him back with an ashtray.
From Beneath the Hollywood Sign is the gin joint for you.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Neal. It is a hot summer day and even hotter inside this studio with Ken and Jeff. How are you today?
Put your shirt back on, please.
I'm trying to cool off.
Well, if you wanted to cool off, you could put the AC back on, but...
Well, we don't want to ruin the recording. I'd rather be shirtless with a good recording than a bad recording with my shirt on.
The things we do for our listeners.
Yeah.
That's right. Matt, are you shirtless or are you wearing clothes?
I am naked sitting on an ice block. It's the only way to live out here.
The old ice block business in LA. I hear it's a thriving business.
Thriving industry, you're right.
Our Matt is in Los Angeles, but we have a very special Matt joining us today for the podcast. He's going to be hosting a game. He's an Oakland 5 supporter on Patreon. From Denver, works in New York, lives in Bordentown, New Jersey. He's a man of many places and many talents. That is Matt Meadow. Thank you for joining us today. How are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
Doing well. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I work in the advertising world as a digital media director. I've been living out here on the East Coast for about 15 years. As you said, I'm from Denver. I have a wife and a son and a dog and a cat. What else? What else can I tell you about me that would be riveting to
What else is there, right?
listeners?
That's a lot.
I feel that really covers the whole gamut of my life. I am a long-time pub trivia player, so the pandemic was a miserable time for me, but I found ways to entertain myself by creating ones for my friends via Zoom.
There you go.
To go, to make the dark days go faster.
Yeah.
That sounds great. The fact that you're providing some trivia to brighten some people's days, especially during a dark time, that's very commendable, and glad to have you join us and so many other great trivia hosts, whether they're in person, on Twitch, or through email, through mail, whatever it may be, but just bringing joy to people. So thank you for doing that.
It's my pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
And thank you very much for supporting us on Patreon. We very much appreciate that. So Matt is going to be hosting the game. So that means it's just going to be a classic 2-on-2 here with Triviality Boys. So Ken, do you want a partner today?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. And you had some ideas on a team name, I think, a theme, I suppose.
Yeah, we watched some Sherlock Holmes movies last night. So let's do a Sherlock Holmes themed team name. And the Reichenbach Fall is one of the famous stories, right?
Yeah, in the final problem, it deals with Reichenbach Falls with him and Moriarty.
All right, so we'll be the Reichenbach Fails.
Ooh. All right, so that means we actually got to show up and try to do well today.
Because we have an uphill battle, quite frankly, against the magnificent team of Jeff and Matt, Robot Matt.
Yeah, Robot Matt. Jeff, any ideas on a team name, or Matt?
Should we be the Hounds of Triviality, Matt?
Oh, yes, the Hounds of Triviality. I love it.
To pay homage to Sherlock Holmes ourselves?
How about the Hounds of Asserville?
It's a family show, Ken.
That's true.
That's my favorite Basil Rathbone Sherlock Holmes movie.
It's a classic. Basil Rathbone, not only a great Sherlock, but just a great name in general.
Yeah,
great
really.
Spice.
It's probably about as British as you can get.
Parents need to step up in this time of need.
Yeah.
We have enough Neals and Matts and Kens and Jeffs.
Mm-hmm.
We need some Basils and some Rathbones.
Some basil, some oregano, and
some... Oh, you went a different direction.
Kale. Well, I think we have a few kales now.
There's a few kales. I think I follow one or two on
Rathbone.
Instagram in their Airstream trailer.
Can't wait to meet your kid, Neal, Ranch.
Get over here, Ranch.
Ranch
yes,
Fisher.
right.
Sounds good.
Well, we have our teams. It's me and Ken, the Reichenbach Fails, and Jeff and Matt will be the Hounds of Triviality. But we need the rules in order to play the game. Matt Meadow, any preference on the rules read?
Oh, I'm a classics man myself, but I I will take the random wheel of fortune.
All right, let's see what we get.
Chris Hansen here. Triviality Podcast is 2 rounds of 20 questions worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there's a special swing round by this week's host. In the final round, players wager points they've earned for a chance to become the cream of the crop. Stand by, and I'll be watching.
Remaster crap.
All right, just like so many men who have had a seat, the Wheel of Fortune spun, and we got Chris Hansen.
Doesn't bode well for us today.
Time to take a seat.
So feel free, Matt, to take it away, and we are ready to play on this sunny day. And I didn't mean to rhyme all of that.
You say that every time it happens. I'm starting to think it's intentional.
Neal's just a beat poet.
What's the So I Married an Axe Murderer, Mike Myers? Woman. I can't think of the rest of it.
Whoa, man.
Yeah, whoa, man. Yeah, thank you, Matt.
I used to be able to do that whole thing because I thought it would impress women, but apparently I wasted my time.
Well, you found someone to spend your time with, so maybe the poem worked.
Maybe it
I'll
was
ask her.
after.
I will regale her when she gets home.
Sometimes you have to learn what not to do.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
There
fair
you go.
too.
Okay, so this under the category of tasty treats. Native to the Caribbean, what sort of animal is the mountain chicken?
All right, so we're thinking this is probably a misnomer. Otherwise, can't really figure it out. So we're going to pick something really different from a chicken as our answer.
Jeff, what do you think is the exact opposite of a chicken?
Marty McFly.
That's a great answer. I wish I would have thought of that.
Milk. Chocolate.
The opposite of a chicken. I thought it might still be a bird, but maybe it was something like a vulture or something else that, but I don't know.
Michael Keaton.
Opposite of a chicken. So what's something that's like can't fly at all? Chickens can fly a little bit.
Dodo bird.
Slow.
Rhinoceros.
Really slow. And then
Stingray.
it's pretty much like a stingray or a whale. Yeah.
Turtle.
Let's do
turtle.
whale.
Ooh,
I like
I
whale.
kind of like that idea.
Okay.
The mountain chicken is a whale. All right, our
Makes
answer
sense.
is almost as silly. We said big cat. Some kind of big cat.
Well, I'm sorry, neither of those answers today are right. That it is a frog.
Oh.
Found only in the Caribbean islands of the Dominica and Montserrat.
Okay.
And it's been on decline for a while, but its legs are used in many West Indies dishes, which it is known to taste much like chicken.
Okay. I have heard that, but I've never had frog, I don't think.
I like the mountain chicken as a wrestling name, too.
Neal, the mountain chicken
Right.
fisher.
Is that every time you're challenged, you run into the mountains, or?
No, it's like a juxtaposition. It's like, is he big and strong but afraid of everything, or is he like ferocious like a chicken but like a
Ferocious
mountain? I don't know.
like noted ferocious animal, the chicken.
Wow. Things that have never been said in human history.
Yeah.
In the category of on the nose, Mufasa and Simba are Swahili words. 1 point each for their English translations.
Okay. So I knew we were onto something with the big cats, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, Ken and I did some deductive reasoning here as the Reichenbach fails, and I think we're on to Matt Meadow's tricks, and so we're going to lock in.
All right, Matt, do you happen to remember either of these?
I thought it was potentially just like father and son, but I could be wrong.
I was trying to remember. I thought maybe one was like king and one was maybe like lion or something, but
I think
it
definitely
could be father
one
and
is,
son.
I think one is definitely king. I think Mufasa is
Okay.
king. Do you think it's Prince then?
Okay.
Or JTT?
King and prince.
JTT.
I like King and Prince.
Yeah, I kind of remember when they broke into the Purple Rain section of that movie. So
and their raspberry berets.
So you're going to say king and prince then?
that is correct.
Okay. We are also saying king, but the other one we are saying is lion.
And the correct answer is king and lion.
All right.
Way to phone it in, Disney.
That category helped, the on the nose, because I was like, could it be lion and king?
Oh.
All right, so half points for the hounds and full points for Reichenbach fails.
All right. The category is Where's Our Reboot? Back to the Future 3. What are the name of Doc and Clara's children?
Oh, we can lock in Matt.
Excellent.
So Doc's children, isn't it? They're named after a famous scientist, right?
Author, I believe.
Oh, so then it's going to be
Vern
not Vern Troyer.
I don't think he's a famous author. No.
Jules Verne.
Jules Verne. That's right.
Famous mini-me, Jules Verne.
Yeah.
Jules.
I was having a lapse on that too. So, but it is Jules Verne.
Oh, so it's Jules and Verne.
I think so.
Are the kids? Okay. I didn't know if it was like Newton or the other ones, but I'm fine with that. We can lock in with Jules and Verne.
I believe he goes, Marty, meet my boys, Jules and Verne, as they both come around the train at the end. Yes. Author of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, the author he shared his love with his wife. So.
Oh, they were swingers?
Jules and Verne is correct.
Marty, get over here. It's a wild party.
Put your keys in the bowl.
Make sure to go back in time and bring protection.
Let's go on to quote and quotables as our category. This old quote goes back to 1930. One morning, I shot an elephant in my pajamas. How he got into my pajamas, I don't know. What movie is that from?
Okay, Ken and I discussed a few options, and we're feeling strongly about one, at least as a guess, and we will lock in.
I have no idea, Jeff. You have any ideas?
I believe Matt said that this was a movie from the 30s, correct?
1930, correct.
Oh, God.
From the year 1930. Okay.
Wings?
That narrows your field considerably.
Wizard of Oz? I don't remember
Who
being
said
in
that?
there, but that was what, 29?
Toto saying that? I don't recall.
I believe Toto said that about shooting the elephant in his pants. Gone with the Wind was in the 30s, I think.
Maybe it's like a
I
Marx
swear Wizard of
Brothers
Oz was
thing?
29, but
Is there a Marx
yeah,
Brothers
but what movie
movie
would that be? I don't know the name of any.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
Marx
either.
Brothers do Dallas. Marx Brothers take Manhattan.
Oh, that's probably what it is. You're right.
Gone
I
with the
can't think of
Wind,
it.
Matt? I don't know.
Fine. Yeah, I think it was Sam saying. Is that the same movie? Sam saying that when
Nope,
you shoot elephants?
that's Casablanca.
No, they're the same movie. Sorry, people. Gone with the Wind. I don't care. We don't know it.
Yeah, Ken and I thought this might be Marx Brothers. It just sounded like a Marx Brothers joke, and then it was trying to figure out which Marx Brothers movie it was. We thought about Night at the Opera and a couple other ones, but the one that stuck with us was Duck Soup, so that's what we locked in
I
with.
feel like that's the most famous one. Right?
Yeah.
That is the most famous one. I think I like Night of the Opera best, but this is from 1930s Animal Crackers. Both Gone with the Wind and Wizard of Oz are 1939.
Oh, 39.
You want to just stuck that in your pocket for later. All right, moving on. How I Learned Math is our category. A staple of D&D until the year 2000, THACO is an acronym that stands for what? And I can spell THACO if needed.
Sure.
THAC0.
So the D&D edition that we were playing was probably pre-2000 edition.
Yeah,
right?
it was. We played 3.5. So.
I have no idea on this. I can't even like venture a guess.
Does his clue about how he learned math have anything to do with it? Like, is it a number?
I'm sure it's the way that you calculate like how much damage you're doing or how much damage you're taking or something like that. But I there's no way I can work that acronym out. So.
Okay, we'll say we're just gonna lock in with Tom Hanks. Always
a cool
is always a cool
zero.
That is a great acronym. That's one.
All right, Matt.
Another one?
I played D&D. I don't know this one though.
It's sounds like, and it's familiar with a lot of how the old RPGs were programmed, and it's like I believe it's to calculate base damage without armor, but I don't know what it stands for. I think that's what it is. Is like this is what a hit would be without any kind of defense, and then it's calculated after defense.
So like
but I don't
something
know.
hit armor class 0?
Yeah.
Trying to think of what the T might be.
Total hit.
Total hit. Total
Armor.
hit, armor class 0. Sure. I mean, it's better than anything I would have come up with on my own.
Better than Tom Hanks.
Nothing's better than Tom Hanks. He's
All
American
right, what is
treasure.
it, Matt?
All right. It is very close. It is 2-hit armor class 0, which they retired when they went to 3rd edition. If you played 3.5, that was 2003. But in the old days of when I learned in the 80s, THACO was the one of your key components of putting your character together. Fighters had negative points usually because they were harder to hit, and magic usually the other end of the spectrum with positive THACO. They were much more easy to hit.
There you go.
That makes sense. Why we didn't know it.
Well,
as a side note, I tried to name our cat THACO, but my wife decided his name would be better, Pumpkin. So
You got vetoed.
It has to go around with us, the sad pumpkin name now.
So she owes you one.
Right. That's how I see it.
She agreed.
That's why your kid is named Megatron.
She agreed to be with you from the beat poetry, but you had to acquiesce the name of the cat.
A bridge too far.
Yeah.
A bridge too far.
Well, always compromise.
That's right. After 5 questions, it looks like Team Hounds of Triviality have 15, and the Reichenbach fails have 20.
Oh, not bad. I expected that to be 0, so we're doing okay. So
Category is news from the front. In which battle was the charge of the Light Brigade remembered more for the poem than the ski masks?
Yeah, we can lock in, Matt.
Okay.
So what do you know? I know we were talking about this the other day, and I can't.
Oh. All right, so he said something about ski masks, and I don't know the name of this battle, but what if we say it's like the Battle of like Balaclava or something?
Oh.
Because that's a type of ski mask, kind of.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I like that. You said the Battle of Balaclava, not baklava.
Right.
Right.
The Battle of Baklava is what we usually have when there's only one piece left.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to say Balaclava.
Yeah, we too said the Battle of Balaclava.
Wow.
You were both correct. I felt you left a Crimea River joke just laying there, but I didn't want to involve myself.
We only Crimea River when they get it wrong.
But yes, October 25th, 1854, during the Crimean War, the Battle of Balaclava.
Great clue. Good poll on that.
Snuck into that one.
Yeah. We snuck in like someone in a ski mask.
Let's move on to another war front. In other battle news, after the Alamo, General Santa Anna's position was overrun and he was forced to flee. Without what? There'll be a bonus point to this if you can tell me where that thing is now.
I believe I do.
Okay, we can lock it in.
Yeah, I don't know this tale that well.
Santa Anna.
Without the flag or
right.
Without his horse or
I know one time Ken raided my house and I was forced to flee without my pants.
Let's say he had to flee on foot without his horse.
Okay.
I really don't know here.
All right, and then for the bonus, we need to know where the horse is now.
You don't.
I don't.
Because it's not right.
All right, what is it, Matt?
So I know this. I'm almost 99% sure from King of the Hill. It was a very large point. The dad was a big fan of. He protected the Alamo or something, and they got old Sandy Annie's leg, and I believe it's still in a museum down there. Although he tries to steal it in one episode, but I'm almost 100% sure it's the leg, and I don't know where it would be now, but some museum.
It is indeed Santa Anna's fake leg. So if we go back pre-Alamo, Santa Anna lost his leg to cannonball fire during a melee with the French, I think 1838. But in 1847, he was overrun by the Illinois National Guard, or an Illinois 4th Infantry, I should say, not National Guard. And his leg still resides today in Springfield, Illinois, at the Illinois State Military Museum.
Oh.
Wow, I didn't know that.
You guys can go visit.
I made that one just for you guys.
Let's take a road trip.
All the many sites of Illinois.
Go rub Lincoln's nose and check out Santa Anna's leg.
All right. Category is Toto. Didn't name check them. There are 54 countries in modern-day Africa. Name 3 that have 4-letter names. 5 points for each one correct.
Okay, well, this is quite difficult. We don't really know. I think we know one of them right off the bat.
Yeah, the first one I could think of was Chad.
Yeah. So we'll say Chad. We'll say Laos. I think that might be a city, though.
Laos is a country in Asia.
Oh. And lastly, we'll say Zulu, which is not a country. Our apologies.
Okay. This is very frustrating because I think I've named like 35 African countries in our discussion, and I swear I should be able to get all of them. I did come up with 2. Chad is one, and the other one is Togo. But I can't remember the third one. So we're going to just lock in for 10 points with those 2.
But the one you're missing is Mali. Chad, Togo, and Mali.
Okay. So
Mali's in West Africa.
All right. So 5 points for me and Neal, and 10 for these guys.
Knit My Job is the name of this category. Knit Your Bit was popularized as a slogan from this organization whose aim it was to supply soldiers with wearable goods.
All right. We are going to lock in with a straight guess here. We don't really have a good idea, but we're just going to go for it.
All right, Matt. I'm thinking it's the American Red Cross.
You think it's the American Red Cross?
Yeah, I think maybe not maybe some part of them, but at least they were involved, I would think, in the first instance.
Okay. I was thinking maybe it was like some kind of clothing company that started as a fatigue type producer and then moved on to other kinds of clothing. But I can't think of anything specifically like that. So I'm okay with Red Cross.
Okay. We will lock in with the American Red Cross.
And we were thinking more along Matt's train of thought, and we thought it was an apparel company that started, again, in the military and then branched out to other stuff. We said Abercrombie and Fitch.
Both good guesses, but American Red Cross is correct. I traced this lineage back to at least World War I, and where they were provided patterns on how they could help soldiers and providing wearable goods for them, for those who, because socks were just as in need as bullets at the time. And the American Red Cross adopted a slogan, and there's a lot of various posters and stuff you can see that have like big socks on it. Those giant old patriotic posters you would see, especially during World War II.
Gotcha. Oh, very interesting.
Let's get some points going into the swing round here. This is a category of Twinkle Twinkle. Which star, also known as a North Star, is particularly useful in navigation?
We could lock in, right?
Okay, so the North Star, obviously, stars are other suns. The closest other solar system to us, I believe, is Proxima
Nova? No.
Centauri.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's the first one?
I think so.
Or Alpha Centauri. So maybe we should say that.
Alpha Centauri?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I've heard this a million times, but yeah, that sounds fine.
Okay.
I think if you were trying to go to the North Pole, you might want to track another star with the name Polaris. So we said Polaris.
Polaris is correct. The North Star is a supergiant star that basically keeps the same position relative to our axis turning.
Okay.
After the first round, it looks like Team Reichenbach fails, is living up to their name with 35 points, but in the lead, and a sizable lead at that, is the Hounds of Triviality with 65 points. Matt, what do you have in store for the swing round today?
This category will be known as the so-so phobias, or we could also call it the fear factor. We're going to go over phobias today.
Okay.
Our swing round.
What if we have a phobia of answering questions about phobias?
Question number 1. What is triskaidekaphobia the fear of? Number 2. The fear of animals is called? Number 3. Brontophobia. Dinosaurs don't get it. Your pets might have it. Number 4. Fear of water is known as? Number 5. What is a phytophobia? Number 6. It's hard to wear shorts if you suffer from genuphobia. Number 7. Dendrophobia, especially if you plan to steal apples. Number 8. Fear of public spaces or crowds. Number 9. Hippopotamonstra sesquipedaliophobia isn't about being hungry. Number 10. When you look upon my visage and shudder, you might be experiencing pogonophobia.
Okay, we will consider these phobias in a rather frightening way, and we'll be right back. All right, we've taken a couple minutes to think about these phobias along with our own phobias, and we are back with our answers. So go ahead and take it away. We'll do it one by one.
Triskaidekaphobia, the fear of...
Believe this is the number 13.
We also said the number 13.
Number 13 is correct. The fear of animals is called...
We don't know this one, so we said we were thinking taxonomy, and we just said taxophobia.
Oh, that's clever. We said animaliophobia.
I thought about adding Marty the zebra definitely suffered from this. Zoophobia.
Oh, that's so obvious.
Easy.
That's logical. Damn
so
it.
obvious.
I'm also afraid of the zoo, except because of the people.
They're the real animals.
Brontophobia. Brontophobia. Dinosaurs don't get it. Your pets might have it.
We just said the vet.
Oh,
smart.
I wasn't even thinking of
It's
the
wrong.
second part. We said fear of Charles Bronson.
I mean, everybody has a fear of Charles Bronson. The fear of thunderstorms.
Oh, okay.
I've heard that. Damn it.
Thunder lizard.
Oh, thunder lizard, right? Because it's so large, and I'm sure the footsteps made it seem like thunder.
Bronto.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was tie-inable to dinosaurs.
Fear of water is known as...
We went with hydrophobia.
Yeah, we too said hydrophobia.
That is correct. Hydrophobia. What is ophidiophobia?
When I reread this, I read it as aphetophobia, and we just guessed it's the fear of feet, which Neal suffers from.
Actually, it's funny you should say that. I got this from a magic card, but what is the answer, Matt?
So I think this is something that Harrison Ford had in Indiana Jones. We think it's the fear of snakes.
It is indeed the fear of snakes.
Good job.
Yeah, there's a magic card called Ophiomancer, and it's like a snake summoner.
Nice. It's hard to wear shorts if you suffer from genuphobia.
We said that maybe this is like a never nude, and we said bare legs.
Yeah, I don't know how Matt pulled this one, but he said this one is bare knees.
That is a nice pull. It is the fear of knees.
Can we get points on that for bare legs?
Knees are part of the legs. Let's give them points.
All right.
Oh, so generous.
So generous.
Only when I'm not hosting. When I'm hosting, I'm awful. No points for anybody.
Dendrophobia, especially if you plan to steal apples.
We said teeth.
I think that's dendrophobia. I think dendrophobia is fear of trees.
Yes, it is indeed fear of trees. I was going back to a Wizard of Oz reference there. Steal my apples.
Oh, that makes sense now that you say that way. Yep.
Fear of public spaces or crowds.
I think this is agoraphobia.
Yep. From the Greek for open air markets, we said agoraphobia.
Agoraphobia is correct. I thought it might have been that four-armed guy from Mortal Kombat there, but
Goro.
All right, so for number 9, it seems that Matt suffers a little bit from hippopotamonstrous sesquipedaliophobia. So we'll just unbury the lead and say it's the fear of long words.
We agree. Long words, no good.
Thank you for helping through that time of need there.
No problem.
When you look upon my visage and shudder, you might be experiencing pogonophobia.
Okay, one thing I noticed about Matt's visage is his prominent beard, so I think it's the fear of beards.
Yep, as soon as I remembered that he was talking about the visage, we also said it's the fear of beards.
Both are correct. It's a fear of beards.
So if you have this phobia, do not enter the sweat lodge.
Yeah,
under any means.
Please do not ever sign up to be a contestant in person.
After the swing round, it looks like these scores are going to be 65 points for the Reichenbach fails and 105 points for the Hounds of Triviality going into round 2.
I think the game is afoot, Neal.
The game is very much afoot. And Mr. Meadow, let's begin round 2.
Let's start with a tiny pianist. Grand pianos have 88 keys.
You know just my brand of humor.
Still.
Grand piano has 88 keys, and while a number of strings depends on the model, it usually has about 230. How much pressure do the strings in a grand piano exert on the frame? 5 points for knowing the unit of measurement, 15 points for the correct answer.
I think it's immense, Neal, so let's say this.
Okay.
All right.
I think it's like 3 or 4 tons, which would be like 8,000 pounds. of pressure. I don't know per what area though.
Well,
so I'm not sure.
There's a lot of square inches there, so maybe it's like 300 psi.
Oh, it might be more than that.
It might be 600 psi.
All right. Do you want to go with 600 psi? I have no idea here.
600 psi
totally
is my favorite measurement. So that's what we're going.
Okay, so we're going to go 600 psi.
All right, since we're talking about the whole piano, I don't think we need per square inch. So we just said it was 2 tons of pressure.
And the correct answer is 30 tons of pressure.
Whoa.
Each string has a tension of between 150 and 200 pounds. So the combined force is about 30 tons in a concert grand piano.
So that thing's ready to blow at any second. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, that's right. All right.
So we do we get 5 points for the unit then?
You had tonnage, yes. So you get 5 points for that part of the question.
Okay.
Question number 2. How Mondays feel. Speaking of tonnage, Tennessee Ernie Williams popularized the song 16 Tons. Who wrote and recorded the song originally? Bonus points if you can name the 1990 movie whose opening sequence utilized the song.
All right, so we have some ideas. We're going to lock in.
Matt, I don't know what you're thinking, but I feel like 16 tons may be the beginning to Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I don't know if that's right for year, but terribly out of my element here.
Yeah, so you just want to guess an old singer?
Sure. Which one do you have in mind?
Those Gregorian monks. They were pretty old.
I don't think it's that old, Matt.
I don't know.
I was thinking more of along the era of like Irving Berlin or something, but
oh yeah, let's go with that. Sing Rock Me Amadeus, right?
Sure. Yeah, we've got no idea.
Yeah.
All right, we're just going to say Johnny Cash originated the song, and we're going to say it was in the movie Over the Top because he was a trucker.
This is a hard pull, but it's a 1947 release by Merle Robert Travis and then re-recorded in 1955 by Tennessee Ernie Williams.
Okay.
I cannot qualify if it's in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I don't believe it is, but the movie I'm referring to, you'd referred to this actor before earlier in the quiz. That is Mr. Tom Hanks in Joe versus the Volcano, as he's marking work on Staten Island.
Okay.
Question number 3, Mama's Boys. This OG woman, the first, a namesake also dear to Clark and Bruce.
We can lock in.
How did you know that name?
Martha.
Is Batman here? Yeah, we said Martha as well.
Martha. Yes, this is where I'm referring to Martha Washington, the first lady.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 4, don't mess with Texas. The University of Texas mascot is known as Bevo. To date, there has been at least 15 Bevos representing the university. What was the fate of their first one?
Died at the Alamo. So what is Bevo?
It's like a bull, like a longhorn.
Bull?
Yeah.
Bevo is a longhorn. I don't know if you want me to tell you, but Bevo is a longhorn steer. Yeah,
hold on, Matt.
So
I think
Bevo
I know this.
burgers now?
Yeah, he was the beginning of McDonald's or something.
I'm serious. Let's say he was turned into
like some sort of meat trade or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do it.
I can't remember exactly what the details for this story were, Matt. I'm pretty sure he was eaten. I don't know if he was eaten during like the Great Depression, like the Dust Bowl or something, but does that sound good to you? He ended up as...
You don't think that he ate Santa Anna's leg?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay.
Santa Anna buried the one, left the other one, and I think the third one's with him in the grave, but...
Okay. Eaten during the Depression. What a uplifting story.
Yeah, and we went with something similar. Ken said maybe he was eaten or turned into food of some sort.
That is correct. They slaughtered and ate him at a barbecue in his honor. This is not this is not a tradition they continued with, and I don't think they want to try that on modern mascots like Gritty, for example.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone wants to eat Gritty. I'm sure it'd be a curse on them or something.
Ooh,
but yes, in 1920, the football players ate him. Okay, taxonomy time. How many ranks are there in the hierarchy of biological classification? Why don't you give it to me in Spanish?
Or locked in.
Is that siete? 7 steps?
Yeah, that makes sense. I know there's more than 5, I believe. So
since he wants it in Spanish, we're going to say siete.
All right, Matt. So there's what? Like kingdom, phylum, class, order?
And the rest. You're right. I don't know.
The Ocho?
Yes, ESPN.
Yeah,
the
let's
Ocho.
go with ESPN 8, the Ocho.
The Ocho is correct. It is kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species.
Well, with that correct answer, it looks like the Hounds of Triviality are furthering their lead with 135 points after 5 questions in the second round. And at Reichenbach fails, we are still yet to crack 100, so we're at 90.
This is category of one sports question. Question number 6. A time period lasting 7.5 minutes. What are polo matches segmented into?
Oh, wow. So we're trying to figure out what the 7.5-minute polo segments are called?
Yes.
Let's say it's periods.
Periods?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like hockey.
Yeah, okay. We'll go periods over here. So Matt can talk it out into oblivion.
There's not much to talk about because I have no idea. I've missed most of the classic polo matches across time. Apparently, there's a bit of a financial barrier into getting into polo in the sense of owning a horse, so it wasn't for me. But I think a lot of those fancy games, they call things like legs. There's different legs of like a race of a rugby match, maybe. I don't know. So we're saying legs. Throwing it back to Sandy Annie.
All right. Well, the sport of kings, known as polo, has 4 mounted riders, and the game usually lasts roughly 2 hours, divided into pyramids called chukkas or chukkers.
Chukkers.
That's chukkas, like CHUKKAS.
Okay. Now I know one thing about polo.
That's true. We learned something today.
Question number 7. By any other name. This portmanteau console launched July 15th, 1983. For 5 bonus points each, name the 3 games who launched with it.
We're locked in over here.
All right, Jeff. So there's 2 that I'm thinking of. So I think it's either Intellivision or ColecoVision.
Ooh.
Those are both portmanteaus, and they both came out around the same time. But I think
Coleco. What is that? What would be the first word? Intelligence, vision, or like intellectual vision or something. I could see that as a portmanteau, but
yeah, because then the second
that's
part
what I meant.
Intellivision. Yeah. I kind of like that. I think Intellivision, and I think maybe for the games that it launches with, we would say like Pac-Man, Frogger, and what's the classic shooting game where the
brick?
Where the monsters come down faster as you shoot them. Blaster Master.
Oh, you're talking about the ones where they drop down and then they just keep Space Invaders.
Space Invaders, Pac-Man, and the other thing I said, Frogger. I don't know.
Frogger.
Sure.
That sounds like the right answer. I've never actually heard of it, but it sounds more like a portmanteau than Atari. But we discussed for a while, and the only thing we kept coming back to, which we think is incorrect, is Atari. And for our bonus, we just put Pong, Frogger, and Asteroids.
What I'm referring to is the portmanteau I'm referring to is the Family Computer, also known as the Famicom, Nintendo's first console, launched on this date in Japan. And it launched with 3 games: Donkey Kong Jr., and Popeye.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's the Japanese NES, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Question number 8. Speaking of mashups, what is a cross between a donkey and a zebra known as?
I don't know this one. Do you? Off the top?
The donkey and zebra?
I would be happy to call it a zonkey.
A zonkey sounds better probably than what it is. I've seen a picture of this before. A Debra.
It's pronounced Deborah. Thank you.
A Debra Messing. Zonkey. I know what he's talking about, and I've seen a picture, but I couldn't tell you what it's called. So
say zonkey.
Zonkey.
All right, Matt. I know a donkey and a horse is a mule.
Yeah.
And I know a tiger and a lion is a liger.
Well, this is actually.
Zonkey?
I think it's close. I think it's what a French person would say if they saw a thick woman walk by and they said, "Check out Z-Donk," because I believe it's Z-Donk.
That is indeed correct. A Zedonk.
Wow.
Is that with 2 C's thick?
Yes.
Check out Zidonk. How dare you, Matt?
I was playing with true professionals here. Moments of genius. Okay. Question number 9. Zoned out. The contiguous states, the lower 48, span 4 time zones. Europe spans 7 primary time zones. Being of comparable size, how many time zones does China have?
We can lock in, Matt.
They have a weird one
Mm-hmm.
where it's like 1 1/2, I think, in there.
So is it a low number then, or is it a high
I
number?
say 3.5.
Okay, I figured it'd probably be lower or something for no reason.
Or I guess it's a unique time zone. So let's say 4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Matt. Geographically, China spans 5 time zones. They observe 1. So we're going to lock in with 1.
Yes, it is correct. It's 1. Since 1949, at the end of the Chinese Civil War, they switched all regional zones to use the same time as Beijing. Let's close out this quiz with question number 10, Cold Dead Eyes. Pokemon's Galarian, Mr. Mime, has an evolution. By what frosty name is he otherwise known by?
We are locked in.
So Mr. Mime's evolution? Mr. Snowman?
Well, what's a step up from like a mime? Like street magician?
Clown?
Or
juggler? But he said Frosty.
Frosty, yeah. So Frosty, something with snow.
Mr. Snowman?
Yeah. I don't know anything really about Pokemon.
Say Mr. Snowman.
Mr. Snowman, I like.
We are locking in with he evolves into this Groucho Marx styled character wearing a bowler hat and a mustache. He's Mr. Rhyme.
He is indeed Mr. Rhyme. That's tap dancing, bowler wearing, mustachioed creep.
Where's the Frosty? Where's the Frosty coming?
He's an ice type.
Did I miss
the Frosty Rhyme is a type of frost.
Oh.
R-I-M-E. I would like to point out that a 10-year-old came down to correct me because I originally had this as a his rapper name, and it was Mr. Rhyme, because I didn't actually know how to spell rhyme until my 10-year-old came to correct me.
Okay.
So thank you to Xander for
shout out to Xander.
So a quick addendum for question number 5 of this round. That was the one about the biological classifications. Both 7 and 8 do seem to be correct answers for that due to a, what'd you call it, a hyper?
That's basically like an infra or super order. I think above
super
kingdom
order.
would be domain. But...
Domain. Okay, so that would be the 8, and then if you don't include that, it's 7. So we'll both take points on that one.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, after regulation, it looks like Reichenbach fails have finally reached 100, so we're at 100 points to wager in the final round, and Team Hounds of Triviality are at 165. So, Matt Meadow, what are our categories that we can wager on today?
Your 5 categories today are Lion King Extras, Greek Chic, Rocket Raccoon, It's So Long, and Dance Dance Revolution.
Okay, hopefully fortune will favor the bold as we're betting 20s all the way down for all of our points, and these boys are betting 30s all the way down.
So you don't want fortune to favor the bold in this case.
Well, we're as bold as we can be, so we're both being bold.
And it sounds cooler when you say it. Yeah. Fortune favors the bold.
Yeah, thanks for messing that up.
Stand corrected.
All right. Matt?
Fortune favors the bold on a budget, is what you're saying.
Yes, that's right. So let's get those questions.
Question number 1. One of the 7 wonders of the natural world, how many wildebeest migrate every year? Within 250,000, say. Question number 2. Name 3 of the 4 humors the ancient Greeks believed made up the body and determine illness. Question number 3. True or false? Raccoons are only found in North America. Question number 4. Which country has the longest coastline? And question number 5. In Japanese, what is sometimes translated as the art of singing and dancing? If you don't know, make it up.
All right, we will consider these and we'll be back. All right, all the answers are now locked in. So let's get the questions one more time, see how we did. Again, the Hounds of Triviality bet 30s all the way down. We bet 20s all the way down.
Question number 1. One of the 7 wonders of the natural world, how many wildebeest migrate every year, roughly, within 250,000, let's say?
All right, we think it's a lot. So we said 10 million.
I think Matt and I agreed upon 2,250,000 is our final answer.
Unfortunately, neither is correct. It is 1.5 million, so no points for that question.
So close.
Sure, at one point it was 10 million, but in a modern migration is about 1.5 million.
Okay.
Name 3 of the 4 humors that the ancient Greeks believed made up the body and determined illness.
This one I knew right away thanks to binging Great British Bake Off when they do their little documentary side cutaways, and I believe it is phlegm, blood, yellow bile, and black bile. So those are the 4.
And yeah, we also went with blood, yellow, and black bile since we only needed 3, and then our 4th would have been good humor.
You have both correct. Blood, phlegm, black bile, and yellow bile are the 4 humors. I remember from a long ago episode, I think it was Ken that memorized the 12 labors of Hercules, so I wanted to see what other Greek knowledge you decided to pack away there.
I wouldn't say memorized. I'd say
attempted.
Briefly, yeah.
You labored to learn the 12 labors.
I did labor, yeah.
Had a midnight fling.
True or false? Raccoons are only found in North America.
Well, we know about the tanuki of Japan, so we said false.
Yeah, I know there's got to be some raccoons hanging around watching some footy down in Australia or something. So we said false too.
It's indeed false. They are native to North America, but through human intervention of both the pet trade and fur trades, they have spread pretty much worldwide, but especially in Europe and Japan.
Okay. I'd love a pet raccoon.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Australia would be too thrilled to have another invasive species down there.
That's
Maybe.
true.
There might be one watching some footy right now.
They'll have like the great Australian raccoon like laser fence after that, or
right. Which country has the longest coastline?
Yeah, we weren't too sure. Now that I think about it a little bit more, I think it might be like an archipelago type of country. But we said Australia.
Yeah, Australia is
that's
interesting.
smart because it's an island. That's really clever.
We were thinking it might be, USA's got a lot of water on both sides. And so we're saying USA, A-OK.
Don't forget Alaska.
Well, Australia and the United States are definitely in the top 10, at least by the World Fact Book there. Australia is number 7 on the list, and the United States is number 8. But by total coastline, when you take in both the Pacific, Atlantic, and the North Sea, Canada is going to be the
a lot of coastline there.
A lot of coastline there. And I'm not sure. I can't qualify North Sea as the right one there. Yeah, but especially as the ice pack melts, there's a whole coastline up there. But it's 202,000 kilometers of coastline for Canada.
All right, last question comes down to this, maybe.
In Japanese, what is sometimes translated as the art of singing and dancing? If you don't know, make it up.
Well, we used your make it up clue, and we think it might be talking about geisha.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Yeah, we didn't know, and I just went back to my favorite America's best dance crew team, the Jabberwockies. So we said Jabberwocky.
I like both those answers. Neither is correct. I was referring to Kabuki theater. Kabuki.
Oh, Kabuki.
I first learned about Kabuki during a Magnum PI episode of say mid 1980s there. So I can tell I'm very theatrically advanced.
I never even thought about Kabuki as a possible answer for that.
Yeah.
The make it up was the clue I was trying to give.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
All right. Well, that concludes our game. I think Neal has the scores for us.
Yep, and it has all come down to basically the entire game because the Reichenbach fails were failing the entire time, and we ended with 80 points. But today's cream of the crop with 135 points, the hungry, the sweaty, the drooly hounds of Triviality, Jeff and Matt.
Cream of the crop.
You dogs, you.
With a nice golf clap from Matt Meadow there as well.
Which is more than we deserve, but thank you.
Yes, great game. Matt Meadow, thank you so much for taking the time to put this game together, joining us today, hanging out, and just being a great person. We appreciate it.
It was my pleasure. I'd love to come back again either as a host or a guest.
Of course, and anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, the floor is yours before we bid you adieu.
I'm sure there's people who helped me put it together, but I will say my old team at Publicis, who were the first to try this out, and then my friends Chad, Vera, and Brian and Michelle and Mike and Marianne, who all were victims of various earlier incarnations of this, and my wife Kenna and my son Xander.
Sounds good.
That was way longer than I thought it was going to be. I can see why they play you off once in a while at the big shows.
That's all right. We'll just imagine the orchestra is playing us off right now. But yes, thank you very much for joining us today, for being a Patreon supporter. If you'd like to join Matt, you can go to patreon.com/Triviality Podcast. And for Ken, Jeff, Matt Meadow, my name is Neal, and that was Triviality. Well, we got our teams. So it's me and Ken. Reichenbach fails versus Ken and no, that's not right. Well, we have our teams. It's me and Ken. Rockenbach, Rock and Sock'em.
Chevrolet.
Oh my God.